That's right, it's also the Viper versus the Dragon Knight, which Silent was very polite, said not good. Laurel looking to terrorize the server once again. He did it in game one off of his Invoker with the constant rotations that he was doing it. This time around, it's going to be a little bit more immobile hero, but he's still going to be terrorizing the laning phase, or at least that's what he's hoping to. Dragon Knight versus Viper. We'll see how Nothing to Say is able to weather the storm against that.
Early laning shenanigans from Mira to get this double melee lane off to a good start. We saw the sentry placement try and win the lane equilibrium. And it'll be up to, well, not Monet, because he actually went mid, Austin.
Okay.
What am I seeing? And it's collapse mid. So this is
the
old double...
Swapping around.
Yeah, double lane swap shenanigans to try and dodge this Viper DK matchup. But Team Spirit, I guess they were double ready for this.
They really were.
Though I will say the Viper DK matchup in the side lane is... I mean, it's still not great, but it's not as debilitating for your game plan as the one-on-one mid.
Oh, certainly not.
But this is very uncomfortable, I think, for some of these players. I think you almost rather have your offlaner go mid than your carry a lot of times. I guess it depends on which team.
I mean, surely in pubs, if you don't get your carry position, you probably want to play mid.
I don't know, I'm just thinking about a lot of these modern offlane players. Like, they all play mid when they don't get their role. Maybe I'm just thinking ATF, but
I think that
it'll be Radon going down first to the Baboka Skywrath mage putting in some early work here. And I will say the one thing I like about this G2.iG lineup more than the previous one is they have a lot more early spell power and just kill ability. You know, like, it just seems easier for them to make aggressive plays and try and do stuff of their own rather than that game one where it was all reactionary, very defensive. There was no damage follow-up for their initiators. Just felt rough. Well, I'm just going to throw out the CS here.
Oh, come on, Collapse. That's unfair. You know he's winning in CS. Oh, he knows it, too.
On TS
2010, there's nothing to say.
Too good.
Just what I had been waiting.
Absolutely.
Sick, bro. Collapse getting props to Monet for his completely made-up creep score.
Now, would I mean, the real question here is, would NTS have given mid lane to Ame? That's the real question with...
What? Of course he would have.
I don't remember it ever happening, though. I don't think I've ever seen Monet go mid once in my entire life. This is new territory for this team. Now, is this the time to bust this out in an elimination match, in an elimination game? There's a lot of pressure on Monet here. Like, not only do you have to carry this game with the final pick, not only do you have to out-carry the Radon Mirana, which is basically undefeated, but you also have to go mid in lane versus an offlaner in mid in a matchup you probably never played.
Yeah, and it's a matchup that it's already not going well and is probably favored to the Kunkka.
Yeah, I'd imagine so. Very strange situation for him. I mean, this could be a very awkward game. Might just come down to who can skirmish better, kind of put the laning phase behind them. But so far, if you're looking at the CS, I mean, it looks pretty okay for G2.iG, and they, again, dodged this isolated Viper DK matchup. Now, the one interaction I also want to mention in this game, as we're getting a couple stutters, this Omni Knight Doom, like we saw these two heroes get first pick for reasons, right? This Doom, in theory, can shut down the Omni Knight pretty hard. Like, you're throwing your spells into a carry hero. If you then Doom that hero, you just remove everything.
Sure.
You feel great, right? You also can't really repel a target after they've been doomed. It ends up being a kind of weird interaction.
Is he going to get pulled back in? Okay, he still has Fairy Fire, but he's in trouble here. He's just going to get run down. Collapse wins the 1v1. He was already winning in this CS, and now a full wave goes under tower that Monet is not going to be around to collect. This is where the pressure that you were talking about really starts adding up. As top lane, JT and Baboka saying, okay, mid lane's not going well. We're going to have to overperform in this matchup, and they are doing that currently. Now back to bottom, where Nothing to Say and X-Nova chase after Mira, who's just being a nuisance while the easy camp pull is going on.
So side lane's honestly going pretty well for G2.iG here, and this top lane is getting massively
Silence into a snare. He still has one more leap to go. Moposhka's going to come back in, give him a bit of a heal.
They're getting forced off, though. JT is... I mean, JT is already having a better game than I think he did at any point in that last one.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, he's got a bracer, he's got boots, he's on the board. This is redemption arc right here.
Might just be. He wanted redemption out of this series in the first place. chance to be able to eliminate Team Spirit like Team Spirit eliminated IG.
Oh, that's a beautiful creep right there.
Yeah.
If you're a G2.iG fan, get that chain lightning going. We have seen this just demolish early games. Incredibly powerful spell.
He doesn't have the mana to back it up right now, like he can cast it once right now, but
Arcane Boots
do
coming.
you think about, yeah, he had Face Boots queued up, right? But now he's thinking about, okay,
Yes.
let's go Arcane Boots with this.
I mean, it's the same thing you used to go like an early Void Stone or the Tiara. What I always forget what that item's called, but
Yeah,
you
yeah.
basically buy an early mana regen item if you get this spell, and it just ups your farming speed by so much. It's basically the fastest early farming spell in the entire game, as well as a lane dominator. So if you get the mana back up here on this top lane, which they did, you also want the Arcanes for the Skywrath. It's honestly really nice on this lane. This is going to be a struggle for Team Spirit. They do not, I mean, you have some sustain, but Mirana does not like early spell harass. It's not the type of exchange that Radon wants to face here. This could be a situation where you just kind of go jungle earlier than you want, or ask for a gank. You could bring the Kunkka top.
Yeah, can you jungle this early before you even have Arcane Boots to be able to bump up as... Oh, not sure if the players are feeling the same little server hiccups that we've been feeling, but score is 2-1, 5 minutes in, and while the off lane has definitely won for G2.iG, it looks like the CS continues to go the way of Collapse in mid. He's doing a respectable job. Another thing to talk about, Laurel on the Viper.
He's suffering.
He said side lane Viper is not very comfortable, and it's looking even worse. I mean, I watched this spree of games where Amar was playing Viper after Viper game in pubs leading up to TI, and he was losing every single one of them. So side lane Viper was not having a good time for him, and he's like the Viper side lane master.
I think this dodge was honestly very smart from G2.iG. I do not think Spirit expected it. And even if Collapse is in theory owning mid, he's opened up a decent lead. It's not as bad as what's happening to Laurel in this side lane, where he's the poorest core out of the laning phase. He's getting his XP split on a hero that I don't think Spirit wanted it getting split on. And it's going to impact their overall strategy, because I think a lot of this Viper pick, the idea behind it was you wanted another semi-carry to benefit from the Solar Flare. If your Viper has a much slower game, he doesn't get levels as fast, it hurts some of that gameplay.
Meteor Repel going to be used.
Oh, there's
as
the
first
Kunkka
sign
port.
of aggression. A Kunkka port forced out. G2.iG, I mean, not really forced, because Radon was perfectly fine, but just a bit of aggression is all it takes.
He's going to force the dive. Does not want to let this TP go to waste.
And they will be able to bring down JT. So the TP was worth it. Even if it took a while, they do finally find that kill.
Yeah, an important one here for Spirit. Maybe you wish it was around that Wisdom Rune spawn, so you could just convert into that straight after. But still an important move to make for Collapse here to kind of bail out the pressure on that top lane. Not that it's going bad for Radon, but there was some explosive power there with a gate rotation or something. You'd rather make the first move and just secure it up, and now you have a level 7 Kunkka on the map with a rotation under his belt and that solo kill mid. Monet just running around. I mean, do you farm? Do you try and gank with this mid-carry pseudo Wind Ranger? Some decisions for him to make that he might not be used to making here.
Yeah, like who are you going to play around as G2.iG if you don't have a mid DK with high levels? Right? Like safe lane DK normally would just be, you know, farming away, and the rest of the team would be playing 4-man for until he gets like Blink Dagger.
Are scanning.
I mean, you can gank this Viper too. If you're G2.iG, you could bring the Wind Ranger bottom, you could bring the Skywrath bottom and just go on the Viper. It's a hero that doesn't like having numbers brought against him, especially if he's going to push up to the tower, but it's Spirit bringing the other support here first.
Let's see if the TP rotations come out from G2.iG to bail this one out, or if it's even needed, because it's just an Omni Knight coming through the gate. X-Nova may be in trouble, but the creep wave is going to help tank some of this battery assault for him, and now he's going to be fine. As it's going to be Mira the one to die here as Baboka does TP in. More gate rotations from Team Spirit as Radon came through the gate. They're chasing after X-Nova. Might be able to get this kill, but it's certainly going to cost them. Silence dump. Maposhka barely gets off the heal in time. Radon pounces and does manage to get the kill. And nothing to say. Maposhka stays alive.
Once more, Team Spirit making the first rotations, bringing the numbers, catching G2.iG off guard. Some painful deaths down there.
And once again, G2.iG just refusing to counter-rotate, being slow to act. I mean, where was our Wind Ranger in that engagement, right?
Getting a power rune. It's a nice one.
Just
That'll
steal
be
him.
a kill.
Just get him out of here.
Actually, this is close.
Yeah, they need more damage, and Boboka doesn't get that damage right away.
He's alive.
He is alive. Oh no. Arrow doesn't quite land. Torrent steps aside. No more stuns left. X marks the spot. It's on cooldown, so he does manage to get away. Team Spirit continuing to move. Mass number of heroes from side lane to side lane. It's the side lanes that have been a problem for G2.iG. Not in the laning phase, but immediately afterwards, this constant aggression. They seem unprepared to be able to deal with it, with the Viper Strike being used. The X marks the spot, pulling him back into his doom. Nothing to say, is going to experience a slow death to poison. Monet here for the punish, but not able to do too much immediately off of it thanks to a whirlwind build-up. He can't get the immediate kill. A torrent lands on two. That's beautiful on both supports. Nobody's going to die on the side of Team Spirit. The side lane's crumbling again for G2.iG.
You're just getting outplayed. There's no way about it. This is not a draft issue. It's not a strategic issue. It is a skirmishing and an execution issue right now. And Spirit taking advantage of it, and especially Collapse. I mean, maybe they should put this guy mid more often. He has ganked both side lanes multiple times. Just controlled the entire map. He said, Laurel, I saw what you did game one, but like, it's not that hard, honestly, bro.
I could do that too.
You didn't get the solo kill, so I'm going to add that to my ticket and, you know, try and get on my level here, man.
And away he goes, off the haste rune.
He's
back
cruising.
to bottom.
That's a full blade mail in his stash, just waiting to come out right now. It doesn't even feel like he needs it. This is the type of game you play, and then you tell your mid laner to watch the replay afterwards.
You could learn a few things, man.
Take some notes.
Listen, I know what side lanes need, and you're just not making the fast enough rotations.
Yeah, you might be a TI winner, but I'm a two-time TI winner.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
Two for a reason. See how much of this momentum Collapse can continue to find here, and the rotations from Spirit have really been what's winning them these early games. G2.iG, man, like, you are facing elimination in this tournament in a last place. You have to find some pace here. You have to find some moves of your own. I do not want to see this team revert back to the kind of passive defensive style we saw them get pushed into in that game one. It is not going to work for this lineup.
No. But they don't necessarily have the best ways to make plays until they get a Blink Dagger on Dragon, right? Like, they do have a combination if they can get that Blink Dagger, Blink Stun into Skywrath Mage, all of his spells.
I mean, you have Doom, though, right? Like, you bring the supports to the Doom and you just Doom whoever's on the lane and lift them or slow them with the Sky. It should be a kill. You don't want to overextend into the Kunkka turnaround, but I mean, this is the kind of play that should work for them.
Catch Radon, Blink Dagger, doesn't manage to get a leap away. If he can get into the trees, never mind. That is too much damage with the Skywrath Mage getting his level 6. Collapse. Hits the punish. Hits him with the Torrent Boat. Boboka not dead yet, thanks in part to his facet, making him a bit tankier, but they'll catch up to him, I'm sure. Collapse delivering sweet justice. Mira. He hits a hook shot into the mid lane. A Cox pushed back onto the Wind Ranger as the Wind Run is running out. Didn't last long enough for him to get away from Laurel. Spirit all over the map. Kill after kill. They get one on X Nova as well in the top lane. 3 in a row.
I think that is the correct play from G2.iG, but again, you really have to be careful about the turnaround plays, and the find from Mira mid is just, it's even juicier here. Now Laurel gets put back into his mid lane where he wants to be. They're even going to get some stack steals here. Collapse's farm continues. 503, 100 CS, level 11. Just going to go into the pipe. The man's not even greedy.
No, he's still going to build some regular off-lane items.
And now Laurel just going to get the siege mid-tower, like he wanted to this entire game. Dangerous positioning for Monet. You get X to your... Have to respect the levels on this Kunkka.
Yeah, he's level 11. He's got 3 levels of X already. X Nova is trying to stop this. They make the initiation. Hook shot into boat and push back into the Viper. Beautiful stuff from Team Spirit. It's simple and it's easy for Spirit as they collect a tower and a kill. Once again, G2.iG keeping their cores split constantly. They are in different parts of the map all the time. Team Spirit not doing the same. Are overwhelming G2.iG with their aggression and group up power.
They're 100 gold off the DK Blink, and I can't really blame them for feeling like they need that to make plays. But man, it does feel like you're wasting a bit of the start Baboka had on the Skywrath Mage. He was really high level himself. He's had early ults in this game. This is a hero. Ideally, you're snowballing off of just chain killing on across the map. NTS's game has just been really slow, and I think Spirit did a better job of activating Laurel than G2.iG have done activating this Dragon Knight. Maybe it's a lot simpler for them to do that with the lineups they have, especially with Collapse controlling the map more than Monet was able to.
Yeah.
But this is their time. You have the DK Blink, easy smoke up. This should be a guaranteed kill. Again, the issue is not the initial kill, it's what happens afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, also the initial kill, what is that initial kill? You didn't want it to be a clockwork, right?
Ideally, no, but you will take it here if it gets you a tier 1 tower, and there was no turnaround. So this is a successful move for G2.iG. It creates some space for the Wind Ranger. Oh, Team Spirit wanted to take the defense.
Trying this one out. Trying to go for a Dragon Knight. Always a pretty tanky hero. The arrow coming off of that one is not going to land, but it doesn't matter. He had to dodge it and gets hit by a Viper Strike instead. Collapse, no stuns to stop that TP. And any future TPs seem to be fine as well.
Man, every time Collapse shows up to a fight, they are just bailing out of there. Amp damage on Laurel definitely helps secure that. But in the end, you don't get that tier 1. You lose your DK for that clock and the trade. That was your Blink reveal. The move once again stifled here from Spirit as the rotations continue to plague G2.iG on the map. Still have Doom up, and you got a Blink onto JT here.
This vision, great timing and placement as he sees all of these heroes from G2.iG clearing out their own jungle. He will not be caught in the process. They also see the fresh Blink Dagger on the Doom. They see Doom himself, and they are thinking about going for it. Radon was not sure if he wanted to go on it, and the arrow missed as a result of that. Awkward timing. They're going to turn back around and quickly kill the Clockwork for that small mistake from Team Spirit. And it's, yeah, wow.
Is a big spell. A really big spell. I'm unsurprised to see him instantly smoke with this. Level 2 Solar Flare for a Wind Ranger lineup. To me, this is one of the ultimate combos of the tournament if you ever get it. Here you're going to get it without having to pick the Mirana yourself.
Bringing the Dragon Knight, bringing the Wind Ranger, but Team Spirit playing very far back.
They would love Radon, but Scan will hit as the Mirana backs up.
They're going to be running into a whole heap of heroes here. All 4 of them are here. They already got the Doom on the Kunkka, but they're retreating. They feel like they're not strong enough to fight in a tier 2 at 16 minutes in a game that they are behind in net worth, and Mira gets the punish off of this one. Not only are they going to be able to run him down, but it looks like maybe more. Xnova does manage to dodge Collapse there. Pushing in deeper, the Dragon Knight stops for a bit of farm. Don't stop for too long, though. You're gonna get caught by the Kunkka. No, the X comes in. And now Nothing to Say will be punished for his greed.
His game continues to get worse and worse here. Every time you make one of these moves with a DK and it fails, it just costs him so much time on the map. And I do not think G2.iG wanted to take a fight into a tier 2 position where everybody was ready. I honestly don't know if that fight would have been that bad if the Whirlwind just went through all of them with the Solar Flare buff up. Could have been maybe something there, but man, Collapse is just so tanky. He already had pipe done for that exchange. Feels like you're going to have to bring this Kunkka down at some point in this game if you want to break the hold Spirit have on the map right now as their lead continues to build 6K now.
They see the Clockwork setting up for the kill. They baited him to stick around. Baboka acting like a helpless, easy support to gank. But again, kind of similar to game 1 where the kills that G2.iG are getting are support kills. They're not getting these core kills that would make a very big difference. You caught Radon that one time, but otherwise, Collapse has had a flawless game.
It is very similar. They're just trying to get some BKB timing and feel like they can then take the fight with those BKBs. But you cannot bleed as much as you did in that game 1. Spirit on the hunt. Feel very confident behind this Admiral. It's been untouchable. This Hurricane Pike on Laurel is also very nice. One of the biggest annoyances for Skywrath Mage as a hero is basically Force Staff and Glimmer Cape. Very simple, but very effective. You're looking at a lot of single target stun initiators for G2.iG, and Shackle Shot, Skywrath Ultimate, Rubik Lift, Dragon Knight Stun, Doom. Lotus Orbs, 4 stabs are going to be very nice for Team Spirit as this game progresses.
Pushing forward, X-Nova by himself. The rest of his team had abandoned that position. It looks like he really wanted to get to the secret shop to complete his item, which...
Well, he tanked the gank.
Yeah, he did.
Hey guys, I tanked the 5-man gank, guys.
Intentional, I'm sure, intentional.
It's a nice little setup here. You might, I mean, you're thinking about like if Mirana comes back to Ancients, you just get that quick pick off and TP out. Spirit just continue to group, man. They are not giving freebies on the map. You might be thinking about another quick Roshan with this Solar Flare up top, like we saw that game 1. Very similar timing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be the exact same play. Only they're dire this time.
Huh. This is really cool.
80%
Solar Flare makes
probability on a 4K difference. Okay. Gabe has made up his mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's that bad.
Yeah, like, does Team Spirit really scale that much better than G2.iG? Like, normally when you see that kind of lead, it means that one lineup is just gonna massively outscale the other, and they already have a net worth.
I mean, it's probably inflated on the Night Pub stats, honestly.
Sure. Thank Sir Action Slacks for that one. They go from the Roshan to the Tormentor, using this Aegis to bully G2.iG. Take some of that net worth away from them.
I mean, I do like Spirit's position here in the game, though, just in terms of continuing to win the 5-on-5s. Like, their overall team fight strength together looks a bit stronger on paper.
Taking in Mira first to set up for this mass rotation. It's the 2 supports, and then the cores, well, they're going to be a little bit late to it, but as long as the Kunkka's there, they've got the kill. And with no BKBs, any X marks the spot means death. Monet, what was he doing in the triangle here? Caught by Radon. Radon chasing after him. Monet doesn't have a win run to get out of here, so he's done. He at least was able to farm up his BKB, I guess.
I mean, he's stealing some camps, stealing some Ancients, but Radon just knows where he is, man. We'll add a kill to the tally. Spirit continue to close out this map and collapse. Lotus Orb, talked about all the single target initiations here. I mean, it is just such a good item this game.
Do these 3 have the damage to do it? I guess
they're
so.
tanky enough.
Yeah, I guess it's less about the damage at this point, about the tank, and they will be able to do that much. So, double shard pickup for Team Spirit boosts them to an 8,000 net worth lead, with both of the supports getting their Aghanim shard, and 3 minutes left on the Aegis. They've got a lot to work with.
They're just getting so much utility online. You're gonna have Hurricane Pike, Solar Crest, the Lotus Orb, the Pipe, Glimmer Cape on the Clockwork, already done by like the 22, 23 minute here. It's just so much kiting and utility to play around in the fight for a lineup that has to jump a target, kind of all in commit either Doom or Skywrath to bring that hero down and then get a numbers advantage for the rest of it. If that initial jump goes wrong for G2.iG in the fight,
and it's already gone wrong. The support getting picked off first, X-Nova. He's dead. Mira was not able to find another pickup, but the hook shot is at the ready. So if G2.iG trying to defend this tier 2, very likely Team Spirit will force a fight. It's not what G2.iG wants, so they give up this mid tower.
Well, Solar Flare on cooldown. I don't know if you can do anything about this opening. They probably won't.
So. If I had to guess, it's probably going to be G2.iG splitting the map and farming, like they did in Game 1. It didn't work for them in Game 1, and I'm fairly convinced it's not going to work for them in Game 2.
Well, they just hit triple BKBs.
All right.
So they are going to make a play with this. These BKBs can be good. I think what it allows you to do is kind of ignore the Kunkka. Try and find the supports. The Viper, if you can isolate him, you really want to get this Omni Knight tagged with a Silence or Doom or something at the start of the fight. And then focus down the Mirana if you can, since she's a lot of Team Spirit's damage.
And these heroes aren't nearly as elusive as they were in Game 1. They are tankier, and they certainly have way more sustain, but it will be easier for G2.iG to start a full 5-on-5. Whether or not they can win it is a different question entirely, as another smoke up from Team Spirit is going to run into the lingering smoke of G2.iG. It's Xnova with the leap steal. Wait a minute. Whoa, dodges the arrow. He's just going to try and buy time. No, he's going to go for the TP out. He is away. Wow.
Okay.
I can't believe he made it out of that. Well played.
Yeah, that was sick. Mad space.
Dire's middle tower.
G2.iG could certainly use some of that.
Unfortunately, that was G2.iG's triple BKB smoke that didn't land. So as flashy as it was, that was not supposed to be the time in the game where you were escaping.
Yeah.
Still, or down this Aegis period, I guess. So you wait for this next DK form to be up, you make another move. No longer doing it into the 2 Mirana lives.
It's not like G2.iG is upset if neither team is getting kills and they're both farming, right? Like the Dragonite scaling up. Like Dragonite, Doom, and Windranger could all use a second item and start feeling pretty good about these team fights. You get the Shiva's initiation from the Doom. That'll add a lot. Dragonite, Windranger obviously going to be scaling and physical damage.
Might come down to some clutch Rubik steals, honestly. Because the one spell you are worried about going late here is the Solar Flare. You got it once, but I think you're unlikely to get it again in some of the pivotal team fights. You might be able to get the boat, for example, though, or
Guardian Angel.
GA/Repel, which could be really impactful on your big meaty frontliners.
Yeah, if you get GA steal against Solar Flare, that is obviously a nice counter.
Good. Yeah, that is good. No Dispel on Spirit's side.
Yep.
So the teamfight execution really important here for G2.iG, whereas I think Spirit, they're just trying to get to the items, continue to ball up, pose a indomitable front line that G2.iG just can't break. Like, oh yeah, you can doom the Viper, you can doom the Kunkka, but so what? Can you actually bring them down? That is a much more difficult task. And a lot of pressure on this Windranger and DK to continue to scale up here.
Xnova being pretty bold with his position on the map, but that's because he still has that spell still lingering with the leap. And he will leap on out of there before Team Spirit can get their hands on him. Nothing to say, level 15.
Set up
He's
on
got
bottom.
Blink Dagger, BKB, and an Orchid soon. Back to bottom lane, arrow, Gleipnir, the arrow doesn't land, BKB does go out from Monet and he TPs away. He's gonna be, oh, the hook shot, never mind, forgot the Mira was here as well.
Expensive death.
Very expensive.
And I mean, it's just been the story this entire series. It's Spirit setting up the plays, it's them finding the openings and bringing numbers, swarming initial core on these skirmishes, and converting after it. They're gonna push the high ground, maybe bring G2.iG back, or at least cut the waves, secure more map control. They're continuing to scale. Like, they completely recovered Laurel in this game, and now he's just going to turn into a semi-carry beast with the Solar Flare to back him up. So you're going to have 2 of these turrets to worry about in the fight. Can't doom them both, and you have the Omni Knight Kunkka to worry about.
And they are going to make short work of this tower. With the shard on Laurel, they got to do something about this. Once again, G2.iG are left inside of their base, impotent perhaps, as their Blink Dagger initiation doesn't do anything but set up for a death on Nothing to Say. The magic damage is working him right now. He finally has to use his BKB to stay alive, but that means that's just one more cooldown. And Team Spirit, just a clear runway for them to be able to go. Oh, Lotus! JT cancels his Doom usage, and he looks for another target, but he's not going to find it. Another BKB that's going to get cut around with a hook shot. Landing and a Cogs, keeping both of them in. Nothing to Say doesn't have a BKB, so he's going to die, and Monet uses his BKB only to kill a Clockwork. Putting a little damage on a Laurel, perhaps. Got him down to half HP. Lotus is protecting him for now, and Monet, he has the X on him, pulled back in. Torrent doesn't quite land. Yes, it does. The Gleipnir goes out. Finally, a Doom is used on a Viper, but the Viper is going to be able to kill the Windranger. The Doom dies in response, and it just is all gone wrong in this series, not just this game for G2.iG.
He was 10 HP!
10 HP Not a single thing is going to go right. Team Spirit, they could have cleaned up this final building with 3 heroes, but a 4th one survives. And a Gleipnir goes out for Snap. So Radon does not opt to go for that kill. Still an arrow. And some hopes and dreams is all G2.iG have to work with. Nothing substantial as Laurel comes in, back in from the X marks the spot to go for a second lane.
Too disjointed of a team fight there. Your BKBs are all over the place. You're the one getting poked down. There just wasn't a clear committal here from G2.iG. As like you said, this tournament is about to end for them if they cannot muster a defense.
Radiant's middle barracks.
Yeah, where was the smoke, mass blink, dagger initiation, right? Where was the chaos? Gleipnir arrow. They gonna go for this? Laurel's gonna chase after him. Boboka. Just as they got all 5 up, Boboka dies. It continues to be a 4 versus 5. They continue to work not just against a net worth advantage, but also a number advantage for Team Spirit. Nice shackle shot on 2. Team Spirit trying to force G2.iG out of the game already. Threaten tier 4s and decide maybe that's a bit too ambitious for now.
I think Collapse just wants to collect his items. He's got a lot of net worth flying in.
Aghanim Scepter for him, Vlad's for Moposhka, so even more of a damage upgrade for all of these turrets.
I wonder if you even wait and go back for Roche in this type of position. Or it feels like you're just winning every fight. Just continue to barrel down the lanes. You have so much utility, so much counterplay. That's why that jump from G2.iG, now it might be too late, but it had to be choreographed together and it had to be in unison, so you caught multiple heroes when you went. You just go on this single target on the front line. He's going to get Lotus. He's going to get repelled. He's going to get Force Staff. He's going to get Glimmered. And like this jump from JT, that Lotus is just immediately there. What are you supposed to do at this point? And the hook shot is just beautiful here.
Radiant are scanning.
Mira, fantastic performance on the clockwork in this game.
Absolutely locks them into a fight they no longer wanted to be in. I don't think any of these 3 cores had their BKBs overlapping with any of the others.
No, they happen. It was a 30-second window where 9-second BKB one at a time.
Oh, they're just smoking into the high ground.
Smoking to Team Spirit holding the high ground. They get a ward up there. Mira's gonna de-ward it. JT already finding himself slow. Nothing to say. He's going to try and stop it. He pops his BKB to turn around and do him up Radon. Radon is throwing out the damage, though. The Guardian Angel is put onto Radon. He is healthy as hell, and he'll not die to a nothing to say Dragon Knight. That'll never be enough, and nothing seems to be enough for G2.iG, as they will call it quits in not just this series, but the International.
A swift exit for them, not the place they wanted to be, and maybe, well, after this series, not the opponent they wanted to be facing.